You won't believe what I found in my house. So there I was, having a pretty uneventful Saturday, binge watching the latest season of my favorite show and eating far too much popcorn. But you know how it goes. The show ended, and I needed to do something productive. I decided to tackle a task I'd been avoiding for ages, clearing out the attic. I spent years avoiding that place because, frankly, it's a dark, scary expanse filled with things I don't remember owning. I grabbed a flashlight and set out on my adventure. Dust was everywhere, and I felt like I was on the verge of sneezing my lungs out. After a bit of shuffling through old boxes, I found an old trunk filled with my parents' old photo albums. It was a bit of a trip down memory lane, but the real treasure was still hiding in the corner. There was this old wooden door, one I'd never noticed before. I thought it was just part of the wall, but curiosity got the best of me. I pulled off some old rotting boards next to it, and to my shock, it wasn't locked. I hesitated, thinking about those ghost hunting shows where the unsuspecting homeowner unlocks a door and finds something sinister. But I pushed the feeling aside and opened the door. What I saw was mind-blowing. It was a small, hidden room that looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. Old newspapers covered the floor, and the walls were lined with dusty shelves filled with jars. At first, I thought it was a creepy hoarding situation, but then I leaned in for a closer look. Each jar had what looked like different colored powders and strange objects. I swear I saw some old coins, and even what looked like an antique compass. I thought at first, is this some kind of weird chemistry set or witch's stash? I pulled a jar closer to examine it, and suddenly I felt a cold draft hit my back. I spun around, expecting to see a ghost or some very confused raccoon, but nope, nothing but my own imagination. Determined, I took a couple of jars and the compass downstairs, excited yet a bit terrified. My closest friends have always teased me about my knack for the weird and bizarre, but this was golden. They had to see this. Just as I was ready to snap some pics for proof, a realization struck me like a lightning bolt. What if this belonged to the previous owners of the house, and they were involved in something shady? I decided to dig a little deeper, doing some research on the old neighborhood. I knew this house had some history. My real estate agent had mentioned it was old, but he didn't share how old. That was a huge mistake. I ended up finding bizarre local gossip about an old cult-like group that used to meet there back in the 60s. Talk about giving me a heart attack. I'm still standing on the edge of what to do next with what I discovered. Should I investigate further, or is it best left untouched? What would you do?